a boy. One night, his stepmother pushed him out. Rain washed his tears. He cried. He begged. She closed the door. His father heard him, but said nothing. That silence broke the boy. Years later, he came back to that same house. The door opened. His stepmother saw him. Her face went white. What happened next will break your heart. Subscribe for real African stories. The village of Umu Oda was calm that morning. The sun rose slowly. Birds sang on mango trees. Life looked normal. David was 12 years old. He was slim. He was quiet. But his eyes were bright. He lived in a small compound house. The walls were brown clay. The roof was old zinc. But to David, it was home. His real mother was gone. She died 2 years ago. Since that day, the house changed. His father, Papa Solomon, tried his best. He worked hard on his cocoa farm. He woke up early. He returned home tired. Papa Solomon loved his son, but grief made him weak. Loneliness followed him everywhere. That was when Mama Rose came. She arrived with smiles. Her wrapper was clean. Her head tie was bright. Her words were sweet. She came with her son, Junior. Junior was the same age as David, but he was loud. He liked to show power. At first, Mama Rose acted kind. She cooked hot food. She swept the house well. She greeted the neighbors with joy. In front of Papa Solomon, she smiled at David. She called him, my son. She touched his head. She laughed with him. Papa Solomon felt peace. He thought God answered his prayer. He thought his son was safe. But safety did not last. When Papa Solomon went to the farm, things changed. The house became quiet. Mama Rose's voice became hard. David, she would shout. Why are you sitting? Go and fetch water. David would stand up fast. He would carry the heavy bucket. He would walk to the stream. Junior stayed inside. He watched cartoons. He ate bread and tea. One morning, David tried to speak. Mama, he said softly, I have schoolwork. Mama Rose looked at him. Her eyes were cold. School? She asked. Is school food? She pushed him aside. Work first, she said. Then school. David obeyed. He always obeyed. At night, David slept on a thin mat. It was near the kitchen. Cold air touched his skin. Junior slept on a bed. He had a blanket. He had a pillow. David felt the difference. But he kept quiet. One evening, Papa Solomon traveled to the city. He would return after 2 days. That night, David heard voices. Soft voices. Near the gate. He moved closer. He hid behind the door. Mama Rose was there. She spoke to a man outside. Her voice was low. This boy is a burden, she said. He eats too much. He takes space. The man asked, What will you do? Mama Rose paused. Then she said, He must leave this house. Even if his father never knows. David's heart stopped. His hands shook. His mouth went dry. He stepped back slowly. Tears filled his eyes. Inside the house, the fire burned. Food was cooking. Life continued. But for David, something broke. That night, he did not sleep. He stared at the roof. He listened to the wind. He did not know when. He did not know how. But he knew one thing. His life was no longer safe in that house. And the worst was yet to come.
I'm Cairo. Welcome to African Tales by Cairo. This story is emotional. Please subscribe.
Morning came again. The sun rose like nothing was wrong, but David felt fear inside his chest. Papa Solomon returned from the city. He brought small gifts, bread, soap, a smile for his wife. Mama Rose acted sweet again. She hugged Papa Solomon. She thanked him loudly. David watched from a corner. He said nothing. From that day, the cruelty grew. It was slow. It was sharp. Papa Solomon started traveling more. Work was hard. Money was tight. He left early. He returned late, sometimes only on weekends. Each time he left, Mama Rose changed. Her face became hard. Her words became painful. Food became a problem. When Papa Solomon was home, food was fair. But when he left, things changed. Junior got meat. Junior got eggs. Junior got big portions. David got little food, sometimes cold rice, sometimes dry Gary. One afternoon, David spoke. "Mama, I am still hungry." Mama Rose did not look at him. She stirred the pot. "Drink water," she said. "Water fills the stomach." Junior laughed. He chewed meat slowly. He enjoyed David's pain. Sleeping became worse. Mama Rose moved David from the small room. She told him to sleep near the kitchen. "The room is for Junior," she said. "He is delicate." David slept on a mat. The floor was cold. Mosquitoes bit his legs. At night, he cried quietly, so no one would hear. School also became hard. David was smart. His teachers liked him. But housework made him late. He swept. He fetched water. He washed clothes. Many times, he reached school late. The teacher warned him. "David," the teacher said, "if you keep coming late, you will leave this school." David nodded. His eyes were full of tears. One evening, he tried again. He spoke to his father. "Papa," he said softly, "I work too much at home." Mama Rose entered fast. She fell to the ground. She cried loudly. "Solomon!" she shouted. "Your son hates me." She wiped fake tears. "He talks back. He steals food. He insults me." Papa Solomon was tired. His head was full. He looked at David. Anger filled his eyes. "Is this true?" he asked. David looked at his stepmother. Her eyes warned him. David swallowed hard. "I am sorry, Papa." Papa Solomon shouted. He slapped David once. That slap broke something inside David. From that day, David became silent. Very silent. One afternoon, David returned from school. The compound was quiet. He dropped his bag. Then he smelled smoke. He ran to the backyard. His school bag was on fire. Books burned. Uniform burned. Mama Rose stood there. She held a stick. "You are useless," she said. "You will not waste my money again." David fell to his knees. "My books," he cried. "My school." Mama Rose did not care. That night, David sat alone. He stared at the ashes. Dreams turned to smoke. Hope turned to pain. Far away, Papa Solomon slept. He did not know. He did not see. And Mama Rose smiled in the dark. Her plan was moving fast. If you want to know what will happen to David, subscribe now and stay with his story. The fire was gone by morning. Only black ash remained. David stood there. His school bag was gone. His books were gone. His dreams felt gone too. Mama Rose did not care. She swept the ash aside. She acted like nothing happened. "Go and wash plates," she said. "Do not stand like a goat." David obeyed. He always obeyed. That day, neighbors gathered. They whispered near the gate. Mama Rose talked loud on purpose. "This boy is stubborn," she said. "He steals. He brings shame." Some people believed her. Some people felt pity. But no one spoke. A small girl named Amaka watched. She lived next door. She saw David cry many nights. She wanted to speak, but she was afraid. Papa Solomon was not home. He was in the city again. The house had no protection. Mama Rose used that chance. She called David outside. Her face was dark. "You have destroyed my peace," she said. "You are cursed like your mother." David shook his head. "My mother was kind," he said. "She loved people." Mama Rose slapped him. "Do not mention her name," she shouted. She dragged a box outside. It was David's box. She opened it. She threw his clothes into the dust. Old shirts. One trouser. One torn sandal. "Pack your things," she said. "Leave this house." David fell to the ground. He held her legs. He cried. "Mama, please," he begged. "I have nowhere to go." Mama Rose kicked him. "Get away," she shouted. "You are not my child." Junior stood nearby. He laughed. He enjoyed the moment. "Go to the road," Junior said. "Go and beg." The sun went down. Darkness came fast. David stayed outside the gate. He knocked softly. "Mama," he said, "please open." The door stayed shut. Then water poured. Cold water. From the window. "Go away," Mama Rose shouted. "Do not sleep here." David stood in the rain. His body shook. His heart broke. He picked his small bag. He walked slowly. The village road was quiet. Only frogs made sound. He reached the main path. He turned back once. The house was dark. No light. No love. David wiped his tears. He spoke to himself. One day, he said softly. I will come back. He walked on. At the edge of the village, an old man waited with a bus. The engine was old. The lights were weak. The man saw David. Where are you going, my son? He asked. David had no answer. I just want to leave, he said. The man looked at him. He saw pain. He saw truth. Enter, the man said. I am going to the city. David climbed in. The bus moved. The village disappeared behind him. David did not know the city. He did not know the road. But he knew one thing. His childhood was over. And his real suffering was just beginning. If you want to follow David's journey in the city, subscribe now and stay with his story. The bus stopped before sunrise. The city was loud. Cars honked. People shouted. David stepped down. He held his small bag tight. Fear walked with him. Tall buildings stood around him. He felt small, very small. The bus driver looked at him. Be strong, he said. Then he drove away. David stood alone. That first day was hard. He walked for hours. He asked for work. People pushed him away. Some shouted at him. Some ignored him. By night, David was tired. His legs hurt. His stomach was empty. He slept under a bridge. Cold air touched his skin. Rats ran near him. He cried softly. He called his mother's name. No one answered. Days passed. Then weeks. David learned city life fast. He carried loads at the park. He washed cars. Some days he ate. Some days he did not. Area boys mocked him. They took his money sometimes. He could not fight back. One evening, rain fell again. It reminded him of that night, the night he was chased out. He sat by the roadside. His clothes were dirty. His face was thin. A woman passed by. She carried a heavy basket. Vegetables filled it. David stood up fast. Mama, let me help you, he said. The woman stopped. She looked at him. Most people would shout, but she did not. Thank you, she said. Her voice was kind. David carried the basket. They walked to a small restaurant. Smoke rose from the kitchen. Food smell filled the air. The woman's name was Mama Esther. She owned the place. David dropped the basket. He turned to leave. Wait, Mama Esther said. Have you eaten today? David shook his head. Shame filled his eyes. Mama Esther served rice. Hot rice. With stew. David ate slowly. Tears dropped into the plate. After eating, he knelt down. Thank you, Mama, he said. I can work. Mama Esther watched him. She saw truth. Wash plates, she said. I will give you food. David worked hard. He washed. He swept. That night, Mama Esther showed him a small room behind the shop. You can sleep here, she said. David slept well for the first time. Days turned to months. David never stole, never lied. One afternoon, money went missing. A worker blamed David. Mama Esther searched him. She found only a paper. It was a small note from his late mother. Mama Esther read it. She believed David. She sent the worker away. That night, she spoke to him. My son, she said, if you work hard, your life will change. David nodded. Hope returned. For the first time in years, David felt safe. But the city still had lessons, hard lessons. And David was just starting. Life slowly became better. Not easy, but better. David woke up early each day. He cleaned the restaurant. He washed plates. He served food. Mama Esther watched him closely. She saw effort. She saw honesty. One Sunday after church, Mama Esther called David. My son, she said. I know someone. David listened. He runs a small workshop, she said. He fixes phones and computers. He trains young people. David's eyes opened wide. I can learn? He asked. Mama Esther smiled. Yes, but he is strict. The next day, they went together. The workshop was small. Noise filled the place. Tools lay everywhere. Old phones. Broken screens. A man stood inside. His name was Uncle Ben. Mama Esther spoke to him. This boy is good, she said. He works hard. He does not lie. Uncle Ben looked at David. His face was serious. Can you listen? He asked. Can you be patient? David nodded fast. Yes, sir. Uncle Ben agreed. But with rules. No laziness, he said. No stealing. No lies. David started training. The work was hard. He cleaned tools. He watched closely. He asked simple questions. Many times, he failed. Screens broke. Parts got lost. Uncle Ben shouted. Focus, he said. David felt pain. But he did not quit. At night, he returned to the small room. He studied books. He practiced with old phones. Months passed. David learned fast. He fixed screens. He repaired batteries. Customers started to smile. Some asked for David. Uncle Ben noticed. One day, David made a mistake. A phone stopped working. The owner shouted. David felt fear. Old memories came back. But Uncle Ben stood by him. Learn from it, he said. That day changed David. Years passed in short scenes. David grew taller. His voice became calm. He wore better clothes. Not fancy, but clean. The city moved fast. Generators made noise. Traffic never slept. David saved money. Every coin mattered. Friends invited him out. He refused. I have a future, he said. One evening, Uncle Ben called him. His voice was soft. I am getting old, he said. I need help. David listened. I want you to manage this place, Uncle Ben said. David froze. Me? He asked. Yes, Uncle Ben said. You are ready. David felt many things. Joy, fear, hope. He remembered sleeping on the floor. He remembered hunger. Now, someone trusted him. David bowed his head. I will not fail you, he said. Uncle Ben smiled. That night, David looked at the sky. Stars filled the dark. For the first time, the future looked bright. But success had not come yet. This was only the door. A bigger change was waiting ahead. If you want to see how David's life will change next, subscribe now and stay with his journey. Time moved fast. David changed with it. He opened the shop early each day. He closed it late at night. He treated customers with respect. Uncle Ben trusted him fully. Money passed through David's hands. He never took what was not his. The shop grew busy. People came from far places. They asked for David by name. David hired 2 young boys. He trained them well. He paid them fair money. He remembered hunger. He remembered pain. So he treated people kindly. Years passed again. Uncle Ben fell sick. He could not work much. David took full control. One morning, Uncle Ben called him. My son, he said, this place is yours now. David was shocked. He tried to refuse. But Uncle Ben smiled. You earned it, he said. David owned the shop. He worked harder than before. Soon, he opened another branch, then another. He moved to a better house. Not too big, but peaceful. He wore neat shirts. He walked with calm steps. People respected him, but David did not forget his past. Sometimes, street boys came to beg. He gave them food. He gave them advice. Learn a skill. Do not steal. On Sundays, David went to church. He sat quietly. He thanked God. One Sunday, after service, he met an old man. The man spoke about the village, about Oda. The road is better now, the man said. People visit more. David felt something inside. Old memories woke up. That night, he could not sleep. He saw the rain. He saw the closed door. He heard silence. He remembered his father's face. Tired, confused. He wondered if his father was alive. He wondered about Mama Rose, about Junior. Anger rose. Then pity followed. David sat alone. He looked at his car keys. They felt heavy. Why now? He asked himself. Days passed. The thought did not leave. One evening, David visited Mama Esther. She was older now, but her smile stayed. My son, she said. You look troubled. David told her everything. She listened quietly. Sometimes, she said, going back is healing. But do not go with hate. Her words stayed with him. That night, David made a choice. Not for revenge, not for pride, but for peace. He looked at his car again. He whispered softly, Is it time? The city lights shone bright, but his heart turned home. A journey waited for him, one that would change everything. And David knew nothing would ever be the same again. The road to Oda was long, but David did not rush. His car moved slowly. Dust rose behind it. Trees passed by. As he drove, memories followed him. He remembered the stream, the cold floor, the silence. The village gate appeared. Children played nearby. They stopped and stared. A big car in Oda was rare. Who is that? Someone asked. Is he a politician? Another said. David parked near the old road. He stepped out. People gathered. They looked at him closely. He wore a simple shirt, clean shoes, calm face. An old woman gasped. Those eyes, she said, they look like Solomon's son. A young woman pushed forward. She stared at David. "David?" she asked softly. David turned. He looked at her face. "Amaka," he said. "You grew." Amaka smiled. Tears filled her eyes. "It is you," she said. "You are alive." News spread fast. David is back. Solomon's son is back. They walked together. The old house came into view. Paint was gone. Roof was rusty. Weeds covered the yard. The gate leaned to one side. David stopped. His chest felt tight. Amaka spoke quietly. "Things are not good," she said. She told him the truth. Papa Solomon was sick. Very sick. He could not walk well. Mama Rose had no power now. Her shop was empty. Her pride was gone. Junior dropped out of school. He drank often. He wandered without direction. David listened. His hands shook. Anger came first. Then sadness. They reached the gate. Mama Rose was inside. She sat on a small stool. Her hair was not neat. She heard footsteps. She stood up. "Who is there?" she asked. David stepped forward. Mama Rose looked at him. She squinted. Then her face changed. Her mouth opened. No sound came out. "David?" she whispered. The name fell from her lips like stone. David said nothing. She stepped back. Her legs shook. Inside the house, a weak voice spoke. "Who is there?" it said. David's heart jumped. "Papa," he called softly. Silence. Then coughing. David entered. The room was dark. The smell was strong. Papa Solomon lay on a mat. His face was thin. His eyes were tired. He turned slowly. He looked at David. At first, confusion. Then shock. "David?" he said. "My son?" Tears rolled down his face. David knelt down. He held his father's hand. "It is me," he said. "I came back." Papa Solomon cried. "I failed you," he said. "I believed lies." Mama Rose fell to the floor. She cried loudly. "I was afraid," she said. "I feared you." Junior stood at the door. His head was down. Shame covered him. David stood up. He looked at them all. Pain filled the room. But the hardest moment was still ahead. The room stayed quiet. Only breathing was heard. David stood still. His heart beat fast. Mama Rose crawled closer. She held David's legs. "Forgive me," she cried. "I was foolish. I was afraid." David looked away. Tears filled his eyes, but none fell. Papa Solomon spoke again. His voice was weak. "My son," he said. "I was blind. I listened to lies. Is not other." David sat beside him. He held his hand. "Papa," David said softly, "I cried that night. You did not come." Papa Solomon closed his eyes. Tears slipped out. "I was wrong," he whispered. "I regret it every day." The words cut deep. Old wounds opened. Mama Rose kept crying. She spoke fast. "I feared you," she said. "You were smart. I thought you would take everything." David listened. He said nothing. Junior stepped forward. His clothes were dirty. His eyes were low. "Brother," Junior said, "I was stupid. I followed my mother." David looked at him. He saw fear. He saw regret. Memories rushed back. The cold floor. The burnt bag. The rain. David's chest felt heavy. He walked to the door. He needed air. Outside, chickens walked. A radio played far away. David closed his eyes. He remembered Mama Esther's words. "Do not carry hate," she said. "Hate keeps you small." David breathed deep. Inside, Mama Rose waited. She feared his return. She feared his power. David came back inside. Everyone looked at him. "I have power now," David said. "I can hurt you." Mama Rose shook. Junior trembled. "But I will not," David said. They looked up. "I will not be like you," David continued. "I will choose truth." Papa Solomon cried louder. "I forgive you, Papa," David said. "You were weak, but you are my father." He turned to Mama Rose. "I forgive you too," he said. "But life will change." Mama Rose nodded fast. She touched the floor. "Yes," she said. "Yes." David looked at Junior. "You will learn a skill," he said. "No more wasting life." Junior nodded. Hope returned to his eyes. David gave clear words. "No lies. No stealing. No abuse." They agreed. That night, David slept in the house, but not in his old place. He stayed awake. He listened to sounds. Pain slowly turned soft. In the morning, David made plans. The past was faced. But the future needed action, and the village watched closely. Everyone waited to see what David would do next. Morning came with soft light. David was already awake. He stepped outside. The village looked the same, but he was not the same. People watched him quietly. Word had spread fast. David is back. The boy they chased away. David went inside again. He spoke with calm voice. "Papa," he said, "we are going to the city." Papa Solomon looked confused. "My son?" he asked. "You need good care," David said. "Doctors. Medicine." Mama Rose stood in the corner. She said nothing. David picked his phone. He made calls. Within hours, a car arrived. Clean. Strong. Villagers gathered again. They whispered. David helped his father stand. Papa Solomon was weak, but he smiled. "I never thought," he said, "I would see this day." David held him close. They drove to the city hospital. Doctors checked Papa Solomon. Tests were done. "He came late," one doctor said, "but there is hope." David paid everything. No delay. No question. Papa Solomon got a clean room, soft bed, good food. For the first time in years, he slept well. David did not leave. He stayed near his father. He fed him. He talked to him. "Papa," David said one night, "why did you not ask me more?" Papa Solomon turned his face. "I was tired," he said. "I chose peace over truth." David nodded. Silence followed. After days, Papa Solomon improved. He smiled more. He walked small steps. David felt relief. Then David called Junior. Junior came to the city. He looked lost. David sat him down. "You will not waste your life," David said. Junior nodded. David paid for training. A small workshop. A real skill. "Work hard," David said. "This is your chance." Junior promised. David also sent money to the village. Not to Mama Rose directly. Food was bought. Repairs were done. The roof was fixed. The gate stood strong again. Mama Rose watched from afar. She felt shame. She felt grace. One evening, she called David. "My son," she said softly. "Thank you." David paused. "Do not thank me," he said. "Change." Mama Rose cried. "I will," she said. David ended the call. Days passed. Papa Solomon walked better. His laughter returned slowly. David sat beside him. "I raised a good man," Papa Solomon said. David smiled. "It was pain," David replied. "Pain raised me." One afternoon, David stood by the window. He looked at the city. Tall buildings, busy roads. He thought of the boy he was. Bare feet, torn bag. He thought of the man he became. Calm, firm. The journey was not easy, but it was real. David knew one thing. Mercy was stronger than revenge, and the story was almost complete. Papa Solomon left the hospital after many weeks. He walked slowly, but he smiled. David drove him home. The city air felt fresh. Papa Solomon moved into a small house near David. Not a mansion, but clean. Peaceful. Every morning, David helped his father. They talked. They laughed. Old wounds slowly healed. Junior also changed. He woke up early now. He went to training. His hands learned work. Some days were hard, but he did not quit. One evening, Junior came to David. He bowed his head. "Brother," he said, "thank you for not giving up on me." David nodded. "Do not waste it," he said. Back in the village, Mama Rose stayed quiet. She stopped shouting. She stopped lying. She sold small goods again, not to show pride, but to survive. People noticed the change. One day, David returned to Umuoda again. This time, with food and books, children ran to him. They smiled. He shared rice. He shared notebooks. Amaka stood nearby. She watched. "You came back different," she said. David smiled softly. "Pain teaches," he replied. Papa Solomon also returned to the village once. He walked with a stick, but he stood tall. He gathered the elders. "I made a mistake," he said. "I listened to lies. I hurt my son." The elders nodded. They respected his truth. Mama Rose stood far away. Her head was down. David looked at her. No anger. No pride. Just calm. Later that evening, Mama Rose came to David. "My son," she said, "I ruined your life." David shook his head. "No," he said. "You pushed me, but God lifted me." She cried again. But this time, softly. David placed food on her table. He did not stay long. Some doors must close, even after forgiveness. David returned to the city. Life continued. Papa Solomon grew stronger. Junior learned his skill. David built schools. He fixed roads. He helped quietly. He never spoke about his past, but his life spoke for him. Sometimes, at night, David remembered the rain, the closed door, the silence. But those memories no longer hurt him. They reminded him of how far he came. One night, David sat alone. He looked at the stars. "If I was never pushed out," he said, "I would never rise." Pain shaped him, mercy defined him, and his heart stayed clean. This is the lesson. My people, some people push you away, to destroy you. But life can use that push, to lift you higher. Do not return hate for hate. Forgive, but set boundaries. If you are hurting today, do not give up. Your story is not finished. And if this story touched your heart, like the video, share it with someone. Subscribe for more African stories that teach, heal, and inspire. Your support keeps these stories alive.